So since many of you showed interest in knowing my full detailed workout split after watching this video, let's start with leg day. So my leg day is mainly comprised of 2 quad exercises, 2 hamstring exercises and 1 calf exercise. I like to keep things simple. So I start off things with the main pressing movement of my leg day, which is the Smith machine squat. I really don't understand why the Smith machine squat has such a bad reputation in the bodybuilding community. I would argue that it is one of the best leg exercises ever. If performed correctly with proper feet positioning, it gives you a complete range of motion where your hamstrings touch your calves. You won't get this in most leg press machines. Along with this, it also gives a good amount of stability because of the fixed bar path, which helps you to push for complete muscular failure. It is an excellent replacement for the hack squat if your gym doesn't have one. So please don't sleep on this exercise, guys. It's a game changer. My warm-up is basically just doing the same exercise but with lighter weights and slowly progressing towards my main set. Nothing more than that. For this, I do 4 sets of 6 to 12 reps and my last 2 sets are taken all the way to failure. Moving on, after a quad exercise, I begin with my first hamstring exercise, that is the lying leg curls. I would preferably do seated leg curls because your hamstrings are stretched more in a seated position as compared to a lying position, but because the machine in my gym is trash, I work with lying leg curls. I do 1 to 2 warm-up sets for my hamstrings because they haven't been activated yet, so just to be on a safer side and to prevent cramps, I do a few sets with lighter weights. And as my main sets, I do 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps with all sets taken to failure. Moving on, the next exercise is going to be another quad exercise, but this time it's an isolation movement. It is the Smith machine sissy squat. You see guys, traditional leg extensions are not an issue, but if you want to maximize your gains, you need to focus on the stretch. And in a seated position, because one of the muscles of your quads actually acts like a hip flexor, it never really gets fully stretched. This is why when you stand and do the same movement at the knee, which is basically a sissy squat, your quads are stretched more and this will get you those extra gains. You can start with normal body weight sissy squats at first and then later on move on to Smith machine, because trust me, even an unloaded bar on the Smith machine feels super heavy on this exercise. Again, I do 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps for this exercise. After this, I move on to the second hamstrings exercise, that is the dumbbell RDL or the stiff leg deadlift. This is one of my favorite exercises for the hamstrings and glutes. It's super loadable, convenient and relatively easy to perform. I always use grips in this exercise because the weight I use is pretty heavy and I need to make sure that it's my glutes and hamstrings that give up before my forearms. For this too, I do 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps with all sets being taken very close to or to failure. After this, I finish my leg day with standing calf raises. I like to use a heavy weight in this exercise because the range of motion is very small. I usually don't bother to do a full range of motion in calf exercises because in the standing variation, if you're using a heavy weight, the maximum tension is automatically at the bottom stretched part of the movement, which is exactly what we want. So I would rather do 15 reps in this position with heavy weight, which is the most effective for hypertrophy, than 10 reps with full range of motion with a slightly lower weight. And that's pretty much it for my leg day, guys. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like and stay tuned for the upcoming videos on push day and pull day. Hope you found this helpful and subscribe for more.